little bit more. When you found out that Audrey, the person who harmed your adopted father, the sister of the individual who harmed if I'm saying this correctly.
Yeah, the sister of the individual.
The sister of the person who harmed your adopted father was your cousin. Did it give you some crazy thoughts? Like,
I can't, it was more of a wow factor. It was more of a wow factor.
So now we got to tie in who you really are verbally, in the sense that now, if y'all don't mind, I'll interject right there because we want you to go deeper. But Tim was violated by a pastor. The same pastor is the the adopted father of Kevin Niblack Hodge Niblack Barnett, right?
That's
so
right.
How does it connect? Well, we all went to the same church, and in that church, my uncle, who harmed me, shot his adopted father. I gotta give them, if y'all don't know,
all of the context.
I want to be real clear.
Yeah.
So if it bothers you, let me know, Kev. But I'm trying to go.
I'm going to play the army makes you hard.
Come on.
So they can understand how we connect. We connect by blood. That's initial, but we didn't know.
We did not know.
So at one point, Kevin and Minnie in our church probably wanted to kill us, no matter if we did it or not, because we were the bloodline of the man who harmed your adopted father.
And so can I give an example of that experience, like you just said, as far as that?
Is that all right to make it clear, Kevin?
Oh, yeah, you can't make it clear.
And there was definitely discomfort, even me, because when everything, I don't want to say when everything came out, I don't want to be vague, but when my uncle, our uncle, me, T, and Tim's uncle, committed that act against the adopted father of Kevin, right? I'm just finding out everything as a teenager and went back to that church with my head held down in shame because I just couldn't understand why I was there. I felt so uncomfortable. There were actually people that were adults, me as a 15-year-old, and that they were, mistreating me or making me feel like I was invisible or just different things that was being done indirectly and passive aggressively. And I understood the dynamic somehow. It was just really, really awkward. I understood the position that both families would be in, because I could put myself in the shoes of this family and that family, because at the end of the day, there's only one culprit, right? There's literally was one person that caused all of that strife and all of that stress and strain because of his acts that he committed against my cousin Tim and others. And we're going to go there about the others, but I just wanted to tell you, I could put myself in that space because I was there. I went through it, and that was an awkward time. So I would love to hear elaborating on, what T was talking about as well. I just wanted to chime in.
So give even more clarity, Kevin. Push it.
During the course of my being going through the foster care system, I was violated too, by two individuals, and I can relate to what cousin Tim has been through, and the dynamics on, this is my fault, shying away from people. You go through every type of emotion. People hiding things, don't want to talk about it, want to shove things under the table. You become the victim and also the subject at the same time, and it's, I carried all kinds of hate, all kinds of things in the military. Affects your relationship, who you are with your wives and your kids and your grandkids, and being around other kids because you're overprotecting, you're overcompensating, and making sure that you don't want to do that. I mean, it goes on and on and on. And then you for me, the fact that I had to deal with that, and then plus deal with the fact that I'm just now finding out who I am as an individual. You know, I have to deal with my biological mom. My biological dad probably didn't know that I existed until probably later on, because he was a police officer later on in life. That's a long story, but it's outlined in the book. But just the fact that someone gave me up, and so I'm always looking and wanting to, you know, to be loved and all this other stuff, but don't know who I am, and, you know, guilt and all this, and then you throw up the abuse on top of that, it becomes a lot. So I had to really, I mean, I could have been out there selling drugs. I could have been out there shooting. I could have did a whole lot of things, but I just kind of like bottled up all the hatred and the negativity and try to prove people wrong. You know, teachers that, you know, just said because the color of my skin, or if I was too skinny, that I wasn't smart enough, I was dumb, all kinds of things, you know. So I just turned all that energy into positivity, and I just started what I call building my house of success. You know, I'm going to prove not so much to people that I can be somebody, but prove to myself. So that was the first step, joining the military. Wound up getting a lot of responsibility in the military, become a drill sergeant, which is one of the hardest jobs in the military. You're leading other soldiers, you're training them and doing that. I became tip-top shape, became a black, did all these different things, became a Mason, did all these different things just to prove that I can be someone. But with all that being said, with all the accomplishments and success in life, you still have that feeling, you know, of 50 some odd years are not who you is. And the fact that, you know, during that time you was abused, not just sexually, but mentally, because mentally is really, really bad.
Yeah.
Bad. So, yeah. So, you know, I think, you know, what's the saying? You wouldn't get stuff put on you if you couldn't handle it.
Oh, come on. Yes.
And I'm a Leo. Woo, woo, woo. But sometimes just because you're the strongest person in the world doesn't mean that you need help. You know, and sometimes people overlook that. They just assume, oh, he's so strong, this and that. Everybody has their problems. Everybody has a situation. But with all this being said, I think I found my quote unquote calling to help.